Good evening, Eatontown. I'm Ali Mehdaoui, and this is Eatontown Voices. Tonight, we are not just covering policy. We are not just covering numbers. We're not just covering another council meeting. Tonight, we're covering something much deeper. Emotion, pressure, tension, real people, real taxpayers, and real officials making real decisions that could impact our town for the next 40 to 50 years. And let me just say this right out the gate. I sat through the meeting. I listened to the engineers. I listened to the mayor. I listened to council. I listened to the borough's financial leadership. And even afterwards, a day later, I've personally had the opportunity to speak with business administrator Billy Lucia. And what I found was not dysfunction, but it also was not an easy argument. What I found was pressure, conflicting priorities, hard questions, and a borough trying to figure out in a healthy way, how do we build for the future without overbuilding, overspending, and overpromising? Tonight, we'll break it all down for you. Segment one, the moment the room changed. So the night began respectfully. Proclamations, recognition of public works, recognition of EMS volunteers, even a deeper emotional proclamation for bladder cancer awareness, where Councilwoman Escalante openly shared that her father passed away from bladder cancer and that her husband is currently battling it as we speak. Yeah, you could feel it. The room wasn't political, it was human. But then everything changed, because the building discussion started and the room got very serious. Segment two, the engineer drops the hammer. So the independent engineer walked up and almost immediately he began laying out a reality many residents probably were not ready to hear. He said, the building is around 6 years old. He discussed water intrusion, visible moisture, aging HVAC systems, possible asbestos, possible mold, 88 issues, fire code concerns. And then came the line that changed the room. And I quote, I guarantee you we're going to find more. What you could feel is that some council members leaned in, some looked concerned, some even started taking furious notes, because now this wasn't theory. This wasn't politics. This was risk. Accountability marker number one. If professionals are openly saying we're going to find more problems, then how do taxpayers responsibly budget for unknown costs? Segment three, the first major pushback. Then came the strongest moment of the night. Councilwoman Escalante pushed back hard, and she essentially said she spent weeks reviewing prior studies, prior engineering reports, historical assessments, years of documentation. In her conclusion, she openly questioned, why do we want to spend another $315,000 on a study that may just tell us what we already know? And here is where things got emotional. She did not just talk money. She talked about responsibility. She talked about police officers, employees, and residents. And then she said something that resonated. She does not want the whole $47 million spent on one building. She wants to see the money also support fire services, DPW, other infrastructure needs. And honestly, that's when you could feel some residents mentally saying, okay, somebody's asking the tough questions. Segment four, the mayor pushes back, but with clarity. Now, to be fair, the mayor did not appear defensive, but he did step in. And this is important. He clarified, just because larger building concepts have been discussed does not mean that those are final plans. He stressed that future options can still be considered, such as scaling back, reducing size, reconfiguring, prioritizing differently. Now that matters, because a lot of residents may think they already made up their minds. And from what was said publicly and on the record transcribed, that does not appear to be the case. Segment 5. The construction expert makes it worse or clearer. Then another expert, a construction management professional, stepped in and he basically said, yeah, retrofitting looks cheaper on paper, but in reality, once you disrupt walls, tiles, pipe insulation, foundation, you may trigger environmental remediation, temporary relocations, police operational disruption, trailer rentals, storage costs, and suddenly that part that says cheaper may not be cheap at all. That's when you could feel council members mentally shifting. Segment 6, the public steps up. Then came public comments. And yes, I too stepped up to the microphone and I believe that I asked a question many residents watching may be considering and thinking. If experts are saying, we guarantee there is asbestos, we guarantee there is mold, then why are borough employees, our police officers, and the public still sitting in the building? That moment, well, it got somebody's attention because it wasn't political. It was just common sense. The response was direct. Leadership clarified and disrupted asbestos is different than airborne contamination. And if there are health issues, the administration is expected to act. But still, that exchange got people's attention because it moved the conversation from budgets to human safety. Accountability marker number 2. If this building may pose future health risks, should the borough proactively right now publish air quality reports, inspection summaries, safety updates, so that residents and employees aren't left guessing? Segment 7, the CFO and the budget pressure. Then came the financial side. The borough's financial officer walked residents through tax levy percentages, borrowed debt, surplus reserves, construction revenues, readable growth, utility assessments reductions. But again, Councilwoman Escalante has raised a powerful question. What happens if construction slows down? What happens if development pauses? What happens if global events continue driving up fuel and material costs? That wasn't political fear. That was fiscal realism. And honestly, that may have been one of the smartest questions of the night. Segment 8, my private conversation with the administrator. Now, after the meeting, I had an opportunity to speak directly with the Borough Business Administrator, Billy Lucia, and I asked him plainly, is the plan really to spend all of the $47 million on a building? His answer, no. He assured me the mindset of the administration and leadership is not to burn through all $47 million on one municipal project. Instead, the goal is to build responsibly and ideally leave meaningful funds for fire services, for DPW, for roads, for community improvements. And from my perspective, that is encouraging that we are speaking the same language because it shows fiscal restraints and appear to be a part of the mindset. Segment 9, the CBA controversy. All right, then I ask about something many residents have privately messaged me about, the Community Benefit Agreement Funds, or what many simply call it, the Netflix money. And here's what I was told. The mayor does not unilaterally sign checks. There is a committee. Cases are brought forward to the committee. Organizations present requests, and the requests are voted on by multiple members. As of now, just under $1 million has been approved, meaning there's still roughly $4 million plus that is remaining for community benefit projects. So if you are a nonprofit, a church, a youth program, a civic organization, a community initiative, and your project genuinely benefits Eatontown, reach out to a council member, to a committee member, to borough administration, because those funds appear to still be active. And yes, from what I understand and what I was told directly from the administrator, there is a process. So what did we learn tonight? We learned the building issue is real. The emotions are real. The financial pressure is real. And the accountability questions, well, we're just getting started. But here's what I'll say. From what I've witnessed with my own eyes, and I spoke to the administrator with my own ears, This was not a room of people that are trying to hide controversial issues or hide from hard conversations. This was a room trying to wrestle with hard decisions, and that matters. I'm Ali Mehdaoui, and this is Eatontown Voices. And here's my question for you. If you were holding the pen, where would you invest Eatontown's next $47 million? Comment below, because your voice should matter before the next dollar gets spent. I'll see you next episode.
Still marketing your business like it's the Yellow Pages era? Welcome to ME Studios, where local solopreneurs and small business owners catch up with the digital world and take over it. We help you go from invisible to undeniable. Featured on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music. Plus, gain press exposure in over 100 to 300 major media outlets like Fox, ABC, CBS, NBC, and the CW. Right here in Eatontown, New Jersey, just steps away from the soon-to-be Netflix studios, our multi-unit facility is built for creators, entrepreneurs, and visionaries. Stop marketing like it's 1995. Start building your digital authority today with a team that gets it.